Sat Shri Akal students, today we are going to derive equations of rotational motion. Students, we already know the equations of linear motion when the acceleration is constant. Let's write them one by one. Final velocity v is equal to initial velocity u plus at. Here a is assumed to be constant. This is very, very important. These three equations I am going to write are valid only when acceleration is constant. Second equation is s is equal to ut plus half at square. You can also write gt square if it is free fall like this, right? And then we have the third equation, final velocity square minus initial velocity square is equal to 2, you can write gs or you can write 2as also. Here s is the displacement or distance traveled, a is the constant acceleration, and t is the time during which this distance is traveled, or t is the time during which the initial velocity u changes to final velocity v. That's good. Students, the counterparts of these equations in rotational motion. Let's write the counterpart of this equation in rotational motion. The final velocity is represented by omega is equal to initial velocity is u that we write at omega naught. Omega naught is initial initial velocity. But which velocity? You know, it's angular velocity plus this is acceleration a. Here acceleration a is represented by angular acceleration alpha t. This is my first equation of rotational motion. This equation is transformed as here in translational motion, students, my displacement or distance is s. When I talk about the angular, rotational motion, here s is replaced by theta in radians. All right. I'll give you the link of our video there, how to convert degree, minutes, and seconds into radians is given. Always remember, students, in calculations, never take angle in degree or in minutes or in seconds. Rather, take angle in radians. Okay. Now, students, the distance is replaced by theta. All right. Velocity u is replaced by omega naught, angular velocity. Final velocity v is replaced by omega. Acceleration a is represented by alpha, that is angular acceleration, and distance or displacement is replaced by theta, that already we have discussed. So this would be theta is equal to u, initial velocity, omega naught t plus half alpha square. This is my second equation, and this equation will be written as omega square minus u. That is initial angular velocity is omega naught square is equal to, yes Rajinder, can you say this will be 2 into, instead of a I will write alpha, instead of s I will write theta. Beautiful. Theta taken in radians. All right. So students, now I'm going to derive these equations one by one. Let's go. Let's go. So I'm going to derive this equation. So the first equation is, rotational equation is, it's v is equal to u plus at. Its counterpart is omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha t. All right, students, this is very simple. See how to remember, how to start this. See, alpha is involved here. So simply I will define what is angular acceleration. So students, I know very well angular acceleration alpha is the rate of change of angular velocity with respect to time. That means d dt of omega. What is omega? Angular velocity. So from this, students, I get dw or d omega. I'm sorry, not dw. It's d omega is equal to, I get alpha dt. Let this be equation number one. Now, students, I define the boundary conditions, or means I just imagine. See, I have to write in terms of, I have to integrate both the sides. So I have to specify, lower boundary and upper boundary, lower limit and upper limit. So I can say when here it is t time and here it is omega. Okay, so I can write when t is equal to 0. So omega, that is angular velocity, is initial angular velocity, that is omega naught. When t is equal to t, any arbitrary, any time, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 1 hour, when t is t seconds, variable, then my omega becomes equal to omega. Putting these conditions and integrating, integrating equation 1 on both sides. So what I get? I get integral d omega. Now I will use these upper and lower boundary limits. The angular velocity starts from initial angular velocity omega naught, and finally it reaches omega in time t. So this is equal to alpha dt. Time starts from 0 to t. You can also take t1, t2, but we can take 0 to t also. So students, when I integrate this, I will get what? I will get here omega, right? It's 1 into d omega, that is omega. The limits are omega naught to omega. Here students, alpha will come outside because alpha is constant. In this equation, acceleration is constant. In this equation, angular acceleration is constant. Based upon this condition, I define and derive these three equations. So it will be alpha into dt, limits are 0 to t. Very right. So here it will be what? Alpha into t, right? The limits are 0 to t. So the constant of integration is avoided because the constant of integration will come in both, it will cancel. So this will be equal to alpha t, right? Because this will t 0, alpha t will be 0. So here I get, here I put the value of first omega as omega, and then minus, I put the value of omega as omega naught. Left side also, constant of integration is cancelled, is equal to alpha t, or I get omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha t. So see students, I have derived my first, I've derived my first rotational equation. Okay, I've derived my first rotational equation. Students, let us go and derive the second rotational equation. The linear equation, its counterpart is S is equal to ut plus half at square, gt square, and let me write at square. So this will be theta is equal to u. Initial velocity, here it is initial angular velocity, omega naught t plus half alpha t square. Very right, students. So see that students here, alpha is also there and omega is also there, theta is also there. So I will start with this. Omega is equal to what? Angular velocity is rate of change of what? Angular displacement. That is d theta by dt. Well, from this, so what I get, I can write from this, I get d theta would be equal to omega dt. Very right. So students, again, I can apply the lower and upper limits like at t is equal to 0 when time is 0. So what you can say when time is 0, so there is no angular displacement. let's say the particle is here at t is equal to 0, and this theta is also 0. But when t becomes t, here it becomes t seconds. So this becomes what? This becomes theta. So when t is equal to 0, theta is 0. When t is equal to t, theta is some angle theta, some angular displacement. Uh, you know, this should be taken in radians. So now I integrate this first equation on both sides. Integrate equation 1 on both sides, or simply if I even if I write integrate equation 1 is sufficient. So now I get integral d theta is equal to integral omega dt. You see, students, I have assumed the angular acceleration to be constant. Angular velocity is not constant. So remember that I cannot take it out. So here it is, what theta is 0 to theta and time is 0 to t. I can replace omega, this is final velocity, or expression for velocity, as initial velocity omega naught plus what students have derived. Just see, omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha t. I'll write this expression plus alpha t into dt. And limits are, come on, tell me, it's t na, so it's 0 to t. Very right. So here on the left hand side, students, what do I get? So I get theta, right? So the limits are, simply you can draw a straight line also, it doesn't matter. Some books will be writing like this also. So it doesn't really matter how you write, the concept should be clear. So it's from 0 to theta is equal to, I can write 0 to t omega naught dt plus 0 to t alpha t dt. Students, you know very well that alpha is constant. What angular acceleration, it can be taken out. And this thing, what omega naught, students, is also omega naught is also constant initial velocity. So it will be omega naught into t, limit is 0 to t. Very right. Plus here angular acceleration alpha will come out. And what is the integration of t? Remember, integral of x raised to power n dx is equal to x raised to power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus constant of integration c. But if it is having lower and upper limit, c will cancel with c. So here I should write c. Okay. So here I've just explained this. Let me delete this and continue with. So it will be what t. So it will be t 1 plus 1 t square by 2. Limits are 0 to t. So this will be, students, what it will be omega naught t, and this will be half alpha t square. So students, I have derived the second equation also. What you see on the left side, we got theta. Theta minus 0 is theta. So theta is equal to omega naught t, initial angular velocity into time, plus half alpha t square. This is my second equation of rotational motion. So let's go quickly derive the third rotational motion. So let's write its counterpart in linear motion. So that is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So it will be omega square minus omega naught square. Omega naught is u, initial velocity, is equal to 2 alpha theta. Very good, students. Let's go and uh, you know derive this also. So how can we derive this, students? So we know that omega is equal to d theta by dt. Am I right? And we also know alpha angular acceleration is equal to d omega by dt. See, I'll play a little trick here. So I will write it as d omega. See, this is d omega by dt. I can write here d omega by d theta. I can then differentiate omega instead of t with theta. I can also write into d theta by dt. D theta cancels out with theta, though it's not very right way to say. So ultimately, this expression is dw by dt. Okay. So, but this is equal to, students, you see, d theta by dt is what? Rate of change of angular displacement with respect to time is angular velocity. So this is omega. I can say this is d omega by d theta into omega, because omega angular velocity is equal to, we know, d theta by dt. Very right. So students, I got a expression. What? I got a expression, alpha is equal to omega d omega by d theta. From this, I can easily say omega d omega is equal to alpha d theta. So I'll take d theta into this side, right? I got this equation. So let this be first equation. Now, see, I give the limits. How I give the limits? You just see. This is omega d theta. This is theta. So I can say what? When theta is equal. Now you won't give the uh, upper and lower limits in terms of t, because dt is not there. You have d theta and d omega. So when theta is equal to 0, that means when there is no, when the theta is 0, what is the initial velocity? Yes, Ishma, omega is equal to, when theta is equal to 0, then what is the initial velocity? Omega is equal to omega naught. And when theta is equal to theta, some angle, I can say omega is equal to omega. Applying these conditions, I can write integral omega d omega from initial value of angular velocity is omega naught to omega is equal to alpha d theta. Initial value of theta is 0 and then some angle theta in radians. Am I right, students? So now see, angular velocity is not constant. What is constant? Angular acceleration is constant. So alpha can be taken out, but omega cannot be taken out. Very good. So this is equal to alpha into 0 to theta d theta. Very right. And now students, on the left side, what is this? Omega d omega. So this will be, can anyone say? This will be omega square by 2, and the limits are omega naught to omega is equal to what it will be? It will be alpha into theta minus 0. So obviously that will be equal to alpha theta. So students, so here what I get, 1 by 2 can be taken outside, and first put the value of omega in this, then put the value of omega naught in this. So it will be omega square minus omega naught square, right, is equal to alpha theta. Am I right? From this, I will get omega square minus omega naught square is equal to, see, this 2 is getting multiplied here, 2 alpha theta. So students, successfully, we have derived the third equation also. All right, this is my third equation of rotational motion. I must practice them again and derive them. Okay, students, based upon this, I can do a small numerical also. It is rotating about its so with angular velocity of 100 rpm. This is the angular velocity, right? It comes to rest in 15 seconds. So that means omega becomes equal to 0 What is the time interval? In 15 seconds, right? Here I can take t is equal to 0. Here I can take t is equal to 15 seconds. In 15 seconds, the angular velocity changes from 100 rpm. What is the meaning of rpm, students? Revolutions per minute. One revolutions. So it will be, uh, 100 revolutions per minute. Am I right? So it will be 100 divided by 60 rps. In 1 second, it will be 100 divided by 60 revolutions per second. All right. After being switched off, assuming constant angular deceleration. See, here it's not acceleration, here it is deceleration. Alpha is constant. When alpha is constant, that is angular acceleration, then only I can apply the three formulae. Okay, students. So calculate number of revolutions made by it before coming to rest. I want to find out number of revolutions made by this before coming to rest. That means n. I want to calculate number of revolution. So students, here I can write the initial velocity is 100 rpm, right? So I can say w naught is equal to 100 r